looking up the little memorial thing saying, "Oh my God, we love you, we miss you," and had everybody sign it. And Julie Green signed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did sign it. So apparently she knew her at least a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say what their relationship was, but what we know is that, like Laketta, Julie was also shot in the back of the head. Her body was also found partially nude. This is a weird thing to note, but her nudity varies from source to source. Like, some make it out like she just had her top missing, and others make it out as if she was basically naked but her socks. Kind of that variance. It's weird why the reporting seems so to shift back and forth. But I noticed that for like whatever it's worth.
It's like telephone, you know. I mean, the only thing is like. Again, the guys in the press are supposed to get it straight, you know. Yeah. At least we screw up too, but at least we don't get paid. At least we got that excuse, right?
It's not our job.
Yeah.
Like Laketta, DNA evidence was recovered from her body from another individual, and the police did determine that it was the same gun that was used to kill both women.
And they would have had to have found bullets then.
Yeah.
That'd be the only way.
Yeah. Good point. Yes. For what we were talking about earlier.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think they also found shell casings at the scene, didn't they? Or at least one of the scenes.
At least one of the scenes had. I think you're right. There was a shell casing. I don't know. Oh my God, I can't remember which one. The other weird. Okay, so here's another weird bit of evidence is, and this is only in a few places. I tracked this from the Wikipedia article to another news article, and then I could never find it in any of the other articles that I was reading. But supposedly near Julie Green's body was a tire track that belonged to a 2003 Ford Taurus or a Mercury Sable.
That can be a challenge, though, in that where was she found? She was found in kind of a public space, right?
No. So it's not. It was
an access road.
It was kind of an access road. It was it's grass and bushes, and she was in a ditch.
Okay, so maybe, just kidding.
I mean, it could have been somebody pulled over on the shoulder.
Dumped her.
And then everything happened.
But we only found it that one place, so who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Access, that implies somebody's getting access to it, so, you know, it might well be that it was unrelated. Yeah. I'm kind of curious about how they identified the car. Because, I mean, I guess you could say, well, did they only sell these tires with these cars?
So it's in 2006. If brand new vehicles tend to come with the same tire, so of course Ford and Mercury at that time were the same manufacturer.
Yeah.
And that means that they know that, and the Taurus and the Sable are basically the same car with a different emblem on them.
Yeah.
So slightly different body kit.
Right. So they can always say, well, by default, this tire always comes on the SE model or whatever it is. So I think that
clearly doesn't watch enough forensic files.
No, I don't. No, but I know. I know what you're saying. But the thing about it is, of course, is there is such thing as used tires.
I was gonna say, but that doesn't mean that somebody didn't have that same kind of tire on an old T-Bird, an 80s Thunderbird or something.
Yeah, a lot of people will buy a car and decide, oh, I want more bitchin' wheels and tires on it, and then they get rid of the old tires.
Yeah.
Somebody else buys them. So.
But similarly, I think there are certain makes of tires that only fit on certain makes of cars.
Correct.
So it's possible that these were just unique in that. I mean, I know, I have a Subaru, and I have to get kind of specific tires for it because they don't make that. I couldn't just like transfer over like the tires off of your car onto my car because they wouldn't work.
Probably not.
So.
Yeah, it's the depth of the wheel sometimes that can be a real indicator. But
anyway,
this is kind of a non-issue or non-point because
we don't even know if it's real.
Because I don't know where it actually came from. Julie did lead a tough life. Or a rough life.
As well
as Laketta.
I have seen that one.
Her mugshot?
Yeah. And she looks like...
she looks pretty roughed over.
Oh, yeah. She's not quite like one of those really seriously deep into it meth addicts, but she looks like she's starting down that road.
She's on like phase 2 of the Faces of
Meth. Right about there. She doesn't look good.
She's not in the best of standings at her appearances at that point. And it's a known fact. She struggled with alcohol and drugs. And she was known to work Ridgewood Ave, which is this major north-south road right there in Daytona Beach. And Willie's Bar is just off of Ridgewood, so we're just going to bring that back in. But this road is, I mean, it's a pretty major thoroughfare, but it's bars and motels. There's trailer parks on it. I mean,
Sounds awesome.
It's not prime real estate.
No,
okay, it's
not
a
yet.
thoroughfare, but apparently she had been, she'd received multiple charges of prostitution, and she was known to be in that area. So the thing to keep in mind is I'm going to use Willie's Bar as,
Sorry, Willie.
Willie's Place, thank you. Willie's Place as a bit of a reference point here, because Laketta was like several blocks away, and then we get Julie. She's 5 miles to the west, almost directly west. So this is you're going to start to notice there's a very small area that this is going to happen in.
Was there a road that went almost directly west from the bar that you could just like get in a car on
Like
a road and drive
LPGA.
pretty much that way?
Pretty
LPGA
easily, yeah.
Boulevard,
Because
yeah.
there's I-4, which you could have gone south on Richardson and then caught the I-4 and then jumped up very easily to where LPGA Boulevard was.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go to the next victim. About a month later, this would be the 24th of February, 2006. A third body is found. It's found in a wooded area near Mason Ave and North Williams Boulevard.
And where is that in relation to her other corpses?
That is from Julie. It's about a mile east. So almost on the same east-west trajectory and just a couple of blocks north of that line.
So pretty close.
Yeah, very close. She was found, like I said, it's a semi-wooded area, and it would turn out that the body was 35-year-old Awana Patton. She was similar to the other victims in many ways and different in a few others. The similarities, for starters, were that she was also shot with a .40 caliber gun, but she was not shot in the back of the head. Instead, she was shot in the face. Investigators believe that she understood what was about to happen and tried to fight back. Because remember, the first 2 women are shot in the back of the head, which means that the killer has to be behind them, if not having them kneeling in front of him, for them to have fallen into that semi-fetal position. Whereas Miss Patton, she's shot in the face. She apparently tried to fight back and prevent her own death, which, if you figured out, what else you gonna do but try and survive?
Could have been that, or it could have been the other difference with Awana is that she was black and the first 2 were white.
Mm-hmm.
And so, maybe the guy just, wanted to shoot the black woman in the face because he liked black people a little less, and was just wanted to be, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, Joe.
I mean, it's
a horrible thought.
It probably is just randomness, or she was fighting, like you said.
And I really wanted to
there.
not be that kind of racist BS. I wanted to be that she was fighting back.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, she might have been fighting back, and it could have been that he just felt with the other 2, I'm going to be really sneaky about it. They'll never know it hit him. And then with the black girl, I'm just going to say, hey, you know what? Here's the end, and give her a moment to think about it.
Yeah.
It could be nothing short of, honestly, it could be, he said, okay, get on your knees and turn around and, you're going to, give me a blowjob or something, right? And they said, the other 2 girls were like, okay, well, I'll just, wait here. And, she was just more forward and was like, all right, yeah, let's see it.
Yeah,
and then he was like, dang it, all right, well.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I agree, I'd rather
it be not that scenario.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
Either way, unfortunately, she was killed.
Yeah.
This is we're going to get some into the similarities again between her and the others, though, is that they did recover DNA from her body. There is a lot of dispute. I don't know why I keep finding cases that have so much dispute in them, but there's a bunch of dispute here on what she did for a living. Some sources say that she worked at an assisted living facility in the area, and that's all she did for income. Other places say that she was known to be a sex worker. I've read a few statements even that are even worse towards her, and they allude to the fact that maybe she had diminished in capacities in terms of her intelligence. And I want to say that is probably because of the photo that everybody sees of her.
She doesn't look so great in that
It's,
photo.
again, not a flattering frickin' photo. But I have heard that her family was helping her out. So, to be quite honest, I don't know where she falls and where the truth in that bit is. What I do know is that she must have been in that area for a good reason, because here's the thing. Her car was found parked behind a speech therapy center, which was on Ridgewood and Cottrell Avenue. So this is, again, within like 5 blocks
Of
Willie's place, which is, again, not a good neighborhood. And I can't find anything that would explain why she was in that area. I'm not saying that she was doing anything bad, but there doesn't seem to have been a whole lot of reason to draw her there. I haven't seen anything that said, oh, well, she was trying to get a job at the speech therapy center, or she was helping out. Nothing like that ever comes up. So I'm at a bit of a loss.
It depends. I mean, she parked there after hours. That might have just been a good place to park. Simple as that. Maybe the street parking was not available, and
Yeah, the speech therapy center could just be a complete and total red herring.
Yeah.
I don't know, but again, I don't know why she was on Ridgewood.
There are certain parts, if she was going to a bar, there are certain parts of Portland where I'll park, 5 or 6 blocks away from where I'm going, because I know if I leave anything in my car right in front of where I'm going,
True.
The window's gonna get broken. Even if it's just a sweater, versus like those 5 blocks away, I know it's not. You know, so sometimes it's just things as simple as that. But I have my own opinion on why people say she's a sex worker, and I think it's dumb. But
I'm not going to disagree with that.
I just think it adds to the narrative of this story. If like all of them were like selling their bodies for money and he had like a total type and blah 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 blah, it's way more convenient than to say like, hey, he was just a monster who was kind of abducting whoever he possibly could.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
Not going to disagree with you.
Good.
You better not.
After Alana is killed, the shooting stopped. Evidence was collected from all of the scenes.
Was there DNA on her as well?
Yes,
There was?
I did, but yes, there was
Sorry.
DNA recovered. It's
Yeah.
okay. No, you were
wasn't
you were
paying
kind of
attention.
worked up there. It's okay. I'll let that go.
You notice I don't dare say anything.
No,
You were going to say the shooting stopped. I was going to say that the shooting stopped with that particular gun.
Well,
maybe.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
we don't know that for sure because the shooting stopped and then nobody seems to be shot in the back of the head with .40 caliber Smith & Wesson for about a year. Then on the 2nd of January 2008, the body of 30-year-old Stacy Gage would be found. A local police officer pulled off the road near Hancock Boulevard and I-4, which is one of the major freeways. He wanted to deal with some paperwork. He said that as soon as he parked and rolled down the window, he smelled something bad, and that would end up being Stacy Gage's body. She had been last seen by her family on December 12th, when she said she was going to go to the store to get some ice. Police don't know.
She got iced herself.
No, I don't think so. Now remember, this discovery is on the 2nd of January, so she's been there for about 3 weeks. Presumably about 3 weeks. They think that she was there basically the whole time, and it's because of the decomposition of the body that they believe that. But that decomposition also worked against them because, A, they couldn't pull any DNA off of the body. They also couldn't tell. She had been shot in the back of the head as well, like the other victims, and was in a semi-fetal state. But they couldn't tell what caliber of gun had been used to kill her.
Because they were not able to recover the bullet then?
It does not appear that there was a bullet, no.
So
Because they couldn't tell. I'm guessing they couldn't tell what kind of bullet because she had decomposed and quite possibly wasn't killed in that spot, or...
she must not have been.
Yeah,
If the
I mean,
bullet
either
passed,
that or the bullet traveled, let's just say she's standing in front and guy shoots and bullet travels horizontally and they don't know which direction it went.
Or it rained a lot and washed it away. I mean...
Well, probably wouldn't have washed it away, but I could see where if it, was...
If it traveled horizontally before its trajectory drug it down, yeah.
That's the problem with those little critters is they're not made of non-ferrous metal, lead. So you can't just pull out a metal detector and find them.
Yeah.
No?
So, yeah. Kind of hard. Yeah.
This is why I suck as an investigator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but so they believe that, like I said, they believe that she had been laying there the whole time. And I need to point out, for anybody who's going to do what Joe does, and actually I've been using Google Earth a lot lately because I love the satellite imagery to look at what things looked like at the time. If you know Daytona Beach, you're saying, well, these places don't seem super secluded now, and they aren't now. But in 2005 and 2006, there was more vegetation. It was less built up in those areas, so it was a little more secluded and a little easier to hide what you were doing if you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
So Stacy Gage, let's talk
about
about
back to her. Yeah.
Yeah, about her background here a little bit. She had a cocaine habit. Her family said that outright. It, took her to not the best places in the world and in her life. She had been trying to clean up, but her family said, I think she'd gone to a rehab center for a while and gotten out, but her family was pretty sure that at the time of her disappearance, she was using again. She was not, however, believed to have been a sex worker. Police would find the van that she was driving, which was her mom's van, parked in an apartment complex almost. And because of the residents of that particular apartment complex, I mean, they were young, they were rowdy, they liked to party, they liked to do drugs. The cops speculate that she might have gone there to get a hookup. Now, if she was going to go there and use her body for currency, nobody knows, but that's what they think is the reason that the van was parked there.
It's kind of weird that it sat there for that long and nobody, because I know that generally speaking, most apartment buildings, the parking is not terribly great. And usually if somebody's just left there storing their van there, nobody doesn't belong to anybody there, people usually have it towed. It's kind of surprising everybody was ignoring
depends on the apartment complex and the people.
If it's kind of more of a young partying demographic, oftentimes you just kind of assume we got a new neighbor.
Maybe, I don't know. But,
yeah. Especially if it's a slightly bigger complex. I've done that before.
Yeah, they just DGF. It's whatever, not my problem.
Yeah.
I got to go about my day.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to say exactly why she was there, but it's believed that she was there. Now, I will point out, when her body was found, if we remember, I drew that pattern out about a mile away from Julie Green is where Oana Patton was found, and about 2 or 3 miles south of where Oana Patton was found, that's where Stacy Gage's body is found.
I'm picturing kind of an arrow shape.
If you were to picture, so if you know how you draw the number 4 and that horizontal bar extends a little bit, if you were to lay it on its side and then invert it, that's actually the shape that it makes when you draw from one to the next. That was probably really confusing.
So an arrow.
Yeah, so the killer is, obviously sending us a message, but not an arrow, though.
It's not an arrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically a 4.
It's an inverted 4 is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, and actually it's...
I guess it's an elongated, the tails of the 4 are elongated. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, it's kind of...
an arrow.
So we gotta
no.
let Devin draw.
It's fine, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So Steve's drawing it now. So that's not an inverted 4, that's just a 4.
It's just a 4.
It is a 4. Okay.
So interesting. Four murders, and they're in the pattern of 4.
Huh.
I wonder if our killer plotted this out.
Numerology.
Yeah.
Probably not,
it's
actually.
Phraseology.
Yeah.
Symbology.
Maybe. Stacy Gage would be the last person killed in this string, in this about year time frame, that people attribute to what has now been dubbed the Daytona Beach serial killer. You will see, and this is why I said earlier, there's some conjecture on this, you will see more people said to have been killed by this person. I have some issues with that, and I'm not sure because there's 3 of them that I'll talk about that I don't really think are connected. There's Reagan Kendall. Her body was found dismembered in 2010. I'm pretty sure it was in July of 2010 she was found dismembered. Then Kelly Lanthern, her body was also found that same month.
How was she killed?
Police haven't released that,
Ah.
so that's why people say, "Oh, she must have been killed with the .40 caliber gun," and they don't want anybody to know. But I don't know that that's actually the case. You'll also see a woman by the name of Faith Jenkins listed as possibly being connected to the killing. Her body was found in 2015 naked and in the fetal position, but she also was not shot. The coroner report would say that she had experienced internal trauma, which to me means that she got the crap beat out of her, which is very different than using a gun on somebody. So
not as quick.
The connections, I don't see the connection to these three like I do in the first four, and I'm not even sure
really,
about
no.
Stacey Gage.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, the first three are very clearly linked by a weapon. After that...
Well, Stacy was shot in the back of the head, but at the same time, shooting people in the back of the head is not unknown.
Well, it could have been it could have been a copycat using any caliber of gun.
It could have been a non-copycat who shot her in the back of the head.
Well, that's what I mean. If somebody shooting her in the back of the head with another gun and it's a similar caliber, they'd have no idea what it was because they didn't recover a bullet. So it's hard to say. I'm willing to say that there are 3 confirmed deaths by this individual in that time frame. After that, I'm not 100% sold.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we should probably get into theories.
Ooh, theories. I like theories.
But before that, let's take a quick break.
Hey, folks, need to eat but don't know how? Well, me neither. But there is a new service just for people like us, HelloFresh. You may have heard of them. They're the people that send you all prepackaged meals in the mail by UPS, whatever. And they've got everything you need in there to make yourself a wonderful, tasty meal. HelloFresh is the meal kit delivery service that makes cooking more fun so you can focus on the whole experience and not just the final plate, although that's good too. Each week, HelloFresh creates new delicious recipes with step-by-step instructions designed to take around 30 minutes to cook. That's for everybody from novices to actual seasoned home cooks. They source the freshest ingredients, measured to the exact quantities that you're going to need, so there's no food waste and no extra stuff in your garbage can, which I like. They have delicious ingredients you're going to love to eat, simple recipes that you will love to cook. So get cooking. It's less than $10 a meal, and I've tried it myself. They sent me some samples, and I cooked them, and as everybody who knows me would agree, I'm kind of challenged in that area, and even I succeeded and made a good meal, and I ate it even, believe it or not, and I needed actually a good meal. So for $30 off your first week of deliveries, visit HelloFresh.com and enter Sideways30 when you subscribe. That's HelloFresh.com, promo code Sideways30.
And we're back. So I should actually probably clarify here. This is one of those episodes where it's not so much theories as suspects, because people think that they know who the Daytona Beach serial killer is.